Hey Eurovision fam, it's Alesia Michelle. I'm ready to go. Eurovision fam, are you ready for the show? I got a new video.
Hello, how are you doing today? This is morning for me, but it's afternoon for you.
Yeah, I'm great. Hi, thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm good. For me, like Melfest is just like near and dear to my heart. And Stockholm is actually one of my favorite European cities.
Oh, really?
Ever.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Well,
I love
yeah.
Stockholm.
Yeah, well, I love it too, actually. Like, I was out driving this morning and I crossed a bridge and I was like, it's really pretty here. Like, oh, I'm pretty lucky to be living here. And yeah, like regarding Melfest, we take it very seriously. So yeah, it's a huge deal over here. So yeah.
Yeah, so this is like your first time competing at Melodifestivalen as a performer. But technically, it's not really your first time competing at Melodifestivalen. So what made you kind of want to go, I think I want to hop in this thing myself?
Well, I think like experiencing it last year, that was the first time. Like I've been doing the Melodifestivalen as a background singer a few times, but last year I competed for the first time, but as a songwriter. And it was just like the whole circus of it all, like the whole bubble and the atmosphere was just like, it leaves you thirsty for more. And I felt like if I was going to do it again, I wanted to give it a try doing it myself as a performer, because that's 50-50 kind of what I do. Like I am a songwriter, but I'm also an artist. So it's a whole nother type of journey, but yeah, it's going to be amazing. I hope.
How do you think like this experience will kind of compare? Because now, like, do you feel like you'll feel almost more comfortable, or is it like more nerve-wracking kind of being like a songwriter? What do you think?
The pressure is not on as much as a songwriter. Like I've kind of enjoyed just being in the back, like once the competition starts, I've done my work. So it's kind of up to the artist. So the pressure is definitely on. But yeah, I'm kind of nervous stepping into the spotlight myself. But I also feel extremely ready for it, because it's a different thing, kind of telling your own words yourself.
Right.
But yeah, it's gonna be different for sure.
So with Melodifestivalen, and maybe you can illuminate this for folks, because it is I think, one of the most competitive Eurovision national selections. And really, to call it just a Eurovision national selection isn't completely fair, because Melfest is its own thing. What is kind of like the process before? Because we know what it's like just to see like, okay, the artists are announced, then we get to find out the songs and everything. What is kind of like all that work that goes ahead of time? Because you kind of know a little bit more about that as someone who has written songs and been like a backing vocalist. Like, what is that like Melfest announcement, here are the artists process? What is that like?
Well, it kind of feels like the day after the finals, you start planning for next year, Like it's even as a songwriter, you're like, okay, so what are we doing next year? Like what worked this year, what didn't work, and you start preparing. And like I spent a lot of days this summer just writing songs. And when I kind of figured out like I want to do it myself, I had just one session booked with my friends Melanie and Herman that I wrote the Mama song last year with. So I kind of came to them and I'm like, I want to try to do something for myself. And so we wrote it in maybe July, and then we sent it in September. And I got the call in October that I was one of the contestants. So it's a lot of there's a lot of months ahead of time before you get on stage. And then they announce it in December, right? Or something like that. So there's been a lot of preparation since October when I found out I was going to be in the show. Yeah, definitely. And for me, especially, like, I'm doing this without a label. I'm doing it independently. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of work just finding all the people I want to work with, because it's also been like an opportunity for me to kind of handpick the people I feel comfortable with and that I trust. So, you know, you need a PR person, you need a stylist, you need a designer, you need everything. So yeah, I just had a fitting earlier today where we kind of tried out looks for how I'm gonna look on stage. So yeah, there's a lot of preparations that you maybe don't see. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, we're going to come back to the styling because I'm kind of known for talking about the styling.
Okay.
You know, there's a lot of people who want to just say, why are you talking about the clothes? It doesn't really matter what they're wearing. And it's like,
Of course it matters.
Well, like,
Who said
it
that?
does. Oh, whoa. Like,
I
yes,
love
the
clothes.
song matters, but the clothes matter too. So we're going to come back to that. But I kind of want to just, you know, eliminate the like elephant in the room. Like, we're living in a pandemic. Normally I would get to go to Stockholm and sit down and meet folks and see the shows and everything. Just what have you been doing to kind of stay occupied other than, you know, writing songs and linking up with friends? Like, how have things been for you during the pandemic?
Well, thankfully, like, I had some songs in the drawer that, you know, like, I was prepared to release. So I could still kind of, being an artist, I could still kind of release the songs that I've written, but it's been like, it's taken its toll on the songwriting part of it, because you don't really get together in a small room with new people every day like I'm used to. So it's definitely been a new way of working, and even writing songs like this, but I've never really gotten used to that, because it's strange and there's a delay and it's so many issues, you know. But I've just been trying to I've focused on my artist stuff, because that I could still do, not the live part, but, you know, I could still release songs, because I feel like people still need to hear and feel music, you know. It's so important.
Yeah.
So that's what I've been focusing on. Yeah.
No, I think that's totally right. And I think there's a lot of folks, especially me, I'm just waiting for like national selection season to sort of start in Melfest, just to hear new music, because music really is like an escape from my personal perspective. So I'm looking forward to having like, oh, like imagining this, like, because even when we can go outside, I still feel like I sit and listen to songs and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to listen to this, you know, like be outside, like by the beach and everything. And so like, I know you can't tell us a ton about your song, but I will say last year at Eurovision, we had Tears Getting Sober. Your song is Tears Run Dry. What type of vibe do you feel like your song is giving off? Yeah, vibe.
My vibe is very much like emotional pop, you know. It's a lot of my song is about, you know, heartbreak and heartache and all these kind of, like, a bit sad, but this song still has that kind of positive, hopeful vibe to it. So it's not just a cry party, you know. It's still something you can move to. So I feel like that kind of mixture is perfect for how I want to present myself in this competition, you know?
Yeah. So this year, the competition is pretty thick at Melodifestivalen. And is there someone that maybe you were like a fan of that you're excited to see? Or like, who do you feel like maybe your biggest competition is? Other than the mamas. You can't say the mamas.
There is a lot of them. Like, there's some heavy names this year. It's going to be exciting because, I mean, like, Daughter, for one, last year she was just like 1 point away from us. So, like, she's definitely going to do well because I know her and I know she does great music. So I'm very excited to see what she's gonna do, and yeah, that's gonna be a competition for sure.
Okay.
And also, like, there's so many good ones. Like, there's my first like memory from Melfest was Charlotte Perrelli. like 1998 when she won Eurovision. Like I was 8 years old in front of the television, like, oh my God, and I practiced her moves, you know, and now she's competing against me, which is insane. Like it's such a full circle kind of moment for me being there in front of the television, like one day I'm gonna, you know, and now I'm here. So that's insane. Like Eric Sade and Danny and everyone, they're also like, it's going to be exciting to see what they do, because it's been a few years since they've done the show, so they're coming back, and yeah, it's always exciting to see what someone's going to bring, you know.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be an interesting year, and it's Krister's like last year too. Like, does that sort of change the vibe and dynamic, do you feel like? Because it's really like his sort of send-off Melodifestivalen year.
Yeah, I don't know what they've planned, but I'm pretty sure like it's going to be noticeable. Like I feel like they will tribute him in some way, and they should, because he's done an amazing job, like just making this competition a whole other thing than what it used to be, you know. Like I think we're gonna notice it's his last year.
So I have one question, and I ask everyone this question, and we don't have this year's songs to kind of compare, but if there was any one song from last year's Melodifestivalen that you would want to like steal and sing it yourself, whose song would you steal?
From last year?
Yes.
Well, I loved both Anna Bergendahl and Daughter. Yeah, like their songs I feel like were my favorite ones.
Okay, and you would put your own spin on it.
I think so.
So
it wouldn't
I have
be
to
as
say,
good because it's their personal story. But I would try.
Well, no, you could do it. Mix it up. Like I believe, I have faith that you could do it, put your own spin on it and make it yours. So now I have to say, I don't know if you've seen my YouTube channel, but you're kind of one of my favorites this year. So you can't let me down. Yeah, I pretty much have been talking you up. Okay, yeah? I've been talking you up. I have faith. I'm not jinxing you or anything. I don't want to jinx. I knocked on wood. Like, touch wood. Yeah.
Where's the wood? I'm like,
I'm not jinxing you or anything, but I really feel like you are one of the, I guess, debut artists, because we call them like Melfest debuts. You and Frida are like my Melfest debuts that I'm really
I love Frida as well.
Checking for. So no added pressure, but I have faith that you're really gonna do it up big on the stage. I've gone on record saying it, so I just want to make sure you know. I mean, I have to say, like, I think with Melodifestivalen, it's always like kind of a mixture, because we've seen, you know, seasoned performers go up there and not make it through. Like it's pretty competitive, and I do think that I just had to put it out there and just say that I'm rooting for you, so don't let me down, okay? Don't embarrass me a little bit. I'm now like your mom in theory.
I'll do my best. Oh, what
and I'm rooting for you on the side.
Oh my God, you sound like my mom actually. My mom's like, I'm not gonna watch, like you're gonna this up. Oh, sorry, I can't swear. You're gonna mess this up. That's like she's my biggest fan, but she's also like, are you sure about this? Are you sure? Like, you know.
Well, no, I have faith.
No, I'll try my best to not disappoint you.
Well, I do really have faith. I think you're really going to serve on the stage. So when you think about like your styling and your staging, you know, we heard what the vibe for the song is. Like, kind of like, do you think of like moodiness? Who are you working with? And I mean, with Melodifestivalen, like all the staging is pretty much good. So I kind of feel like you can't go wrong per se. Not saying that there haven't been some missteps in the past. I've gone on record. There have been some missteps, but I feel like for the most part, it's going to be some type of show. So what are you kind of thinking with your staging a little bit? I know you can't give me everything, but just any little nuggets.
I can't give you everything, but you know, I'm just going to like I'm going to try to create like this beautiful universe that is kind of intimate, but still has that, you know, Melfest mood that you want, you know, like it's not gonna be too small and not too big, but just, you know, and I want to do something that kind of questions the norms and is a bit unexpected. Because yeah, you know, I feel like yeah, I wanna do something that's not expected, you know. So I can say this: there will be people dancing, and I might even dance a little bit. So so it's gonna be interesting because I'm not a dancer, so we'll see.
Well, I'm excited. That all sounds extremely promising to me because we have to have a show on stage to a certain degree. Yeah, we have to have a show. I think we all know it's like the full package and it has to make sense.
Yeah. You know, there has to be like a little bit of mystery, but still for me, like it's my first time. You need to kind of get to know me. So it still has to feel up close and personal. It can't just all be disguised in, you know, people flying all over the place, you know, and like it's gonna be a good mixture of an introduction of me and entertainment.
This is great. This all sounds good to me. Have you gotten any advice from folks? Like, I know you've written a song for Mariette. You know, obviously you wrote a song for the Mamas. You've sung backup for folks.
Yeah.
Have you gotten any advice from some Melfest vets?
I've just had a lot of like pep talks, both from Mariette and the Mamas, and you know, and people like that. So, but not really. I haven't really asked them questions because we haven't seen anyone, you know. So I'm just excited to kind of meet up. Probably we won't even meet them in the arena. But you know, usually like around this time, there's a lot of parties and events leading up to the big show, so you can kind of interact with the other acts, and we haven't had the chance to do that, so I haven't talked to that many people, but I've definitely like messaged with the Mamas and Mariette and Tusse also. I wrote the Idol winner single song for Tusse. Yeah, so I'm so excited to see what he's gonna do and what he's been up to since he won Idol, you know, because now he's had the chance to create his own sound and not just a song that we kind of gave to him that could suit like 2 or 3 people in the finals of Idol, you know?
Right.
So it's going to be like a big reunion, I hope.
I think it's going to be a really good Melfest show. But since you did say the right thing that we're getting to know you, so I like to play like a little game, and it's like called This or That. And you got to pick a choice, okay? And so this is going to help us to get to know you a little bit better. Okay, are you ready to play This or That?
Yes,
okay.
I'm ready.
Michael Jackson or Prince?
Michael Jackson.
Britney or Christina?
Christina.
Pop or hip hop?
Pop.
Wine or beer?
Wine, for sure.
And then for like clothes or styling, would you rather be in an all white outfit or all black?
Black.
And ski trip or a beach trip?
Oh, beach trip.
Okay.
Oh, I would love a beach trip right now.
No, me
but there's
too.
a lot of snow here, so.
I said that I was like, I need like a trip to like St. Bart's after this is like all over. I just want to go to an island. I want to just sit and sleep.
Oh my God.
That's like what I'm doing. Like the minute that I have like my vaccine and I can go outside, I'm like going to the islands immediately.
Yeah.
Me and my baby. We're doing it. Well, thank you so much for talking to me. And
thank you for having me.
Break a leg. Best of luck. We're rooting for you because you got the vocal, okay?
Thank you. I hope to do you proud. We'll see, but I'll do my best, I promise. And thanks for talking to me today.